Did you know that humans have one very specific kind of fear? And I'm not talking about the usual stuff like being afraid of the dark, death, or some paranormal shit. No. This fear kicks in the moment you realize one simple thing. You can't completely trust your own brain, because your brain is the thing that decides what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you remember, and even what you believe is real. Picture this. You wake up in the middle of the night in your room. Everything looks exactly how it should. The walls, the ceiling, the windows, the desk, and suddenly you notice something's off. Like, say, the shadow of a person standing right in front of your bed. You stare at it for a few seconds, and you are completely confused. And then you realize it's just your clothes hanging over a chair. Okay, your brain just screwed up. Happens to everyone. It's supposed to protect us, right? Nothing weird about that. This kind of thing happens all the time. But some people have brains that make mistakes that are way, way stranger. They can look directly at an object and still say they can't see it. They recognize their own mother's face, but are convinced the woman standing in front of them is an imposter. Some people can be absolutely convinced that they're already dead. And sometimes, a person wakes up in the middle of the night, can't move, and sees someone standing right next to their bed. And none of this is made up. This is actually how the human brain can work. And the further we go, the more disturbing one thought becomes. Your brain doesn't show you reality. It shows you its own version of reality. And almost every time, that version is so convincing that you don't even notice anything has been replaced. And today, we're starting with one of the strangest cases. Imagine losing your eyesight. Not having bad vision, I mean complete darkness, like when you close your eyes. You look around and see absolutely nothing. And then someone puts an object in front of you. They ask, "What do you see?" And you say, "Nothing." Then they ask you to guess. For example, is the object on your left or your right? You shrug because you can't see anything and honestly have no clue where the object is. But you make a random guess anyway, and then they tell you that you were right. You guessed correctly. Then they ask again and again, and every single time, you somehow get it right. At some point, it happens so often that there's no way to explain it as simple luck. The researchers ask, "But you can't actually see it, right?" And you say, "No." And the person isn't pretending. They genuinely don't experience vision the way we normally do. But somehow, some information about the object is still influencing their answer. This is called blind sight. With certain kinds of damage to the visual cortex, a person can lose conscious vision while still being able to correctly respond to certain visual stimuli. And that leads to something seriously weird. The brain somehow gets the information, uses it, but your conscious mind has no idea it's happening. And when you really think about that, there could be information inside your own head that affects the way you behave, while you have absolutely no idea that you even have access to that information. We're used to thinking of consciousness as the control center. Usually it works like this. You see something, then you become aware of it, and then you make a decision. But sometimes your brain can process information before it ever becomes part of your conscious experience. And that raises a pretty uncomfortable question. How much is your brain doing right now that you don't even know about? There's a very famous experiment you've probably seen before, but let's go through it one more time. Right now, I'm going to show you a video. You have to pay close attention and count how many times the people in white pass the ball. So, hopefully you counted the passes and noticed the gorilla walking through the shot. No? Well, there it is. It doesn't run across the screen. It doesn't just pop up for a split second. It casually walks right through the scene. Don't believe me? Rewind it and watch it again. And the crazy part doesn't end there. In one study, radiologists were shown medical scans and asked to look for specific signs of disease. One of the scans had a massive gorilla added to it. It was way bigger than the actual thing the specialists were supposed to be looking for. But a lot of them didn't notice it because their attention was focused somewhere else. And an analysis of their eye movements revealed something even stranger. Some of them literally looked right at the gorilla and still didn't consciously see it. So their eyes picked up the information, but it never actually became part of their conscious awareness. This is called inattentional blindness. And it happens to you every single day. Because if you really think about it, there are sounds all around you right now that you don't hear simply because your attention is somewhere else. There are objects sitting right in your field of vision that you don't notice. There are things you've looked at dozens of times without ever actually seeing them. The thing is, your brain has to filter the world around you. So it's constantly making decisions about what deserves your attention and what can be ignored. And the crazy part? You don't even notice the moment that decision is being made. You just get the finished picture. And that gets a little creepy, because your brain can literally remove something from your conscious reality without even asking you. Like, bro, I'm here too. Now imagine your brain sees a stranger. But not just some random dude on the street. Imagine it sees a stranger in someone you've known your entire life. Like your mom, your wife, your brother, or your best friend. Anyone close to you. You look at them and, technically, you recognize the face. You know the name and their voice sounds painfully familiar. Like you know everything about this person. But you look at them and you just don't feel like it's actually them. They might look exactly the same, but the real person is somehow gone. And this person standing in front of you? An imposter. And I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. The condition actually exists. It's called Capgras syndrome. It's rare and can occur with certain neurological and psychiatric conditions. So you can literally recognize someone's face. The problem isn't necessarily the recognition itself. Something else is missing. That feeling of familiarity. That emotional connection that normally comes with recognizing someone you're close to. And that's the key. The person isn't simply failing to recognize someone they know. No, their brain is convinced that the person standing in front of them is a double. That the real brother, for example, was kidnapped or hidden away and replaced with a copy that's standing right there. So if someone looks at you and says, "You're not you," maybe they're not fucking around. There's an even stranger condition, Cotard syndrome. In some cases, a person can be completely convinced that they're dead. It's a delusional disorder characterized by hypochondriacal and grandiose ideas. The condition can involve the belief that you have a serious illness, that your body is rotting, or that some of your internal organs or limbs are missing. Some patients believe they're dead and exist as a corpse or some kind of disembodied being. The condition is associated with acute psychosis, chronic psychiatric disorders, and organic brain damage. So imagine waking up in the morning, you look at your hands, and you can even move them. You can hear another person talking, and you can feel your own body. But something just feels wrong. And there's this weird feeling like, I'm dead. Holy shit. People tell you that you're alive, and that everything is fine. But for some reason, to you, that sounds about as believable as someone telling you the sun doesn't exist. It's obviously wrong, at least to you. The exact causes of this syndrome still aren't fully understood. It most often develops alongside a depressive episode, postpartum depression, or schizophrenia. Sometimes it can also appear after a severe traumatic brain injury. It's honestly insane what the human brain is capable of, but this is a serious syndrome that can lead to irreversible consequences, just like other mental health disorders. So if you're not sure about what's happening to you or how you're feeling, please don't be afraid to reach out for help. What if you wake up in the middle of the night? Just wake up. Maybe it's a little scary because of ghosts and monsters. But paranormal stuff doesn't exist, so obviously you're not going to see some random entity standing at the foot of your bed. Okay, I'm kidding. You will see a monster, trust me. Not only can you see a monster standing there, but you also won't be able to do a damn thing about it. You can't move, you can't scream, and you can't even pull out your phone and record it. Yeah, a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. It's sleep paralysis. And it's a seriously bizarre experience. During REM sleep, your brain naturally shuts down most of your muscle activity so you don't physically act out your dreams. Sometimes your consciousness wakes up before that mechanism switches off. And you get this horrible combination. Your mind is awake, but your body isn't. And in that moment, parts of your dream can bleed into your perception. That's why you might see a figure standing in the room, feel like someone is there, hear a voice, or experience all of it at once. And by the way, that's exactly why stories about some entity sitting on your chest show up in completely different cultures around the world. You can be lying in a completely empty room, but your brain can create such a convincing sense that someone is there that years later, you'll still remember that night. You don't even need to invent ghosts. All you need is a brain that, for a few minutes, gets stuck somewhere between sleep and reality. That's the kind of shit the brain can do. And the final thought. Tonight, before you go to sleep, lie down on your back and put your phone away. But before you do, make sure everything at home is fine. Nobody's there, everything is where it's supposed to be. Turn off the lights, close your eyes, and start listening to the sounds around you. At first, you'll probably hear completely normal stuff. Cars outside, the fridge humming, the curtains moving in the wind. But wait a couple of minutes until your brain locks onto one particular sound. That's when things get interesting. Your brain will start attaching weird explanations to that sound. Like maybe someone just walked into the room. Or maybe it's definitely something paranormal. And the truth is, you don't need a monster to scare yourself. All it takes is one thought your own brain comes up with, and suddenly you're sleeping with the lights on. Sure, we don't have telekinesis, but the power of thought, every single one of us has that. That's it for today. Let me know what you thought of the video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. And tell me what interesting facts you know about our own brains. See you guys.